Okay, so in our last video we noticed that there were some different errors in the data types and things of that nature. Let's take a look. I've created a new environment and I've connected to another Oracle instance to simulate the same exact POC that we did earlier, but with a few minor modifications. But I want to show you that there's still some things that are going on. If we take a look at our database in MongoDB and we browse the collections that we see for customer orders, we actually see this really long order total with a bunch of zeros and things of that nature. So it looks like there's some problems with the decimal types. However, the numbers seem okay. And we can see this is decimal 128. All of them are that data type. So let's take a look at what's going on in the Confluent Cloud. Go to our demo cluster. We take a look at our connectors. Actually, we'll take a look at our topics. And we have our order topics as they're coming through. We'll take a look at the message and we'll jump to offset 0 to see what that looked like. And as you can see, we've got these strange characters. You know, the whole question, is that a bug or a feature? And then we have this really long deal here. So what's going on? What is the issue? Well, part of it is the fact that it's the connector, the JDBC connector that's connecting to Oracle, is actually reading the data type from a view. And the view doesn't really display what's going on. So if you take a look here in the lab, we've actually put together some of the things under data validation. And we actually see that we have data types. So we take a look at the orders. We have things like the order ID. These are all number 38s, but the unit price is a number 10,2, and that's defined well in the underlying tables. If we look at the view that we created, customer order products by store, we actually see that the order total is a number. So there's some mistranslation going on. We don't have precision, and yet somehow it's coming through. So what defines this? Well, one of them is the view, and so we can actually fix the view by taking a look at this information. And I can create new data, or I can keep existing data. The other thing that's part of the problem is the way that we're casting this connector, so that it comes in and we want to select the numeric mapping to best fit. So what I want to do is restart the connector and put it into a new topic, a fresh topic, and we can compare these two topics together. Now Mongo isn't reading from this new topic, so it's not going to see the changes. And what we can do is kind of simulate a fix while data is in production. We don't want to impact the old data, but we do want to test the fix before we roll over. So we can actually do this by going into our connectors. Go into the connector, and we are going to look at the MongoDB, the Oracle DB source connectors, and we're going to look at the settings. And when we take a look at the where is it? Numeric mapping, it's set to none, right? So we'll go in and we'll change that to best fit. So go to best fit, and we will apply those changes, save these changes, and we're also going to put this into a new topic, and that's going to pull the existing data that we have out there. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's take a look at the stream lineage, stream designer. We go to our connectors. I've got this, I can apply the changes. It's going to kick off. I want to do one other thing, which is a topic prefix. Instead of Oracle dot, I'll name it Oracle dot fix dot as a prefix of the topic, so we can see the difference between the two topics. I'll save that change, and then we're going to come back to apply the changes. And what it's going to do is actually restart this connector, and then we should see, once it starts loading data, a new topic available. So area of Oracle, this is the original one. Now we should have an Oracle fix pop in. And then we could also take a look at the MongoDB data and pipe that to a new collection and take a look to see what's coming through. So if we go back into, let's go back to our connectors, and we'll see that it's being provisioned. Once it's provisioned, I would expect some data to start flowing back in. And we can actually hit refresh on this. There we go. Still being provisioned. I'm going to pause the recording until it's finished. It shouldn't take more than a couple minutes. Okay, so now we actually see that we've got our connector back up and running. It kicked in right after I had hit the stop button. So go back to our topics, and now we see our Oracle Fix Customer Products topic. And all I did was do best fit numeric. And what we'll notice on our messages, as we go to offset 0 again, is that it has created all these new messages that are in here. Looking at any one of these, we can now see that we have these integer numbers. So doing it to best fit actually, in my case, moved it from a string of values, much like these, to this order total to being a numeric, which was originally what we had seen. So that one fix alone is not going to fix the problem. What we have to do is basically go into our view, and we have to actually cast these as a particular number just to make sure that that number comes through. And in this particular case, it's 10,2, which matches the base table and not the view, like order total being a number. So just to be safe on everything, I've casted all the numeric values to what they should be in Oracle. I go back to my view, and again, you wouldn't have this if it was trouble if you're going off a base table or a materialized view that actually exists where the DDL is available to be seen by the connector, the JDBC connector. So all that being said, we go in here and we're going to create or replace the view that we have where I'm casting everything correctly. And I just cut and paste this directly from the GitHub. So go ahead and run that. It's created that new view. Now I'm going to go back over here, back to our connectors, and I'm going to edit this connector back to the settings. I'm going to create this as Oracle Fix 2. I'm going to edit this to Oracle Fix 2. Might as well just do a dot in here, and then save these changes, then apply these changes. And as the connector gets restarted, we'll actually see these changes start to flow through our new topic. Now the interesting thing is this is not going to impact at all anything in the customer orders as I'm doing these fixes. I'm actually just putting them into new topics to test, validate that things are as they should be, and then I can actually pipe this into Mongo. So I will go back to the overview, and we see that it's running. I'll go back to my connectors. It still says it's provisioning, so a little bit of a discrepancy. I just want to verify that it is actually up and running. Still being provisioned. Click into it. It says it's provisioning. So sometimes this message doesn't update like it should. As soon as it's done, we will know that things are going. And one of the other ways to check and see if it's up and running is that we will have a new topic created. So this is customer fix products. Back to the connectors, and it's up and running. So one of the things that we can do just to validate that we're getting data through is to go ahead and create some new orders. Go ahead and run this, make sure that we're pushing in new orders to be found. We can create 500 new orders, and so it showed that we had 495 orders that were successful. Back to my topics. There we go. Here's fix 2, right? Let's take a look at what that looks like now in our messages. We should see some slightly different data. Hopefully this will see the correct data. And we do. It's 37.34. So this is good. We're actually seeing this correctly. Now let's go to our connector data for oh, what the heck? I could have swore we had a, maybe I did not. Did not set up the MongoDB data. I will set that up, and we'll actually sync this to MongoDB. We'll go back to Confluent Cloud. Just want to make sure that I'm sources connectors 1. Okay, I may have dropped a connector. We'll pause here as I add that connector back in.